with 0 views on our TikTok channel. I think we had 4 followers, his wife, my wife, and 2 other people, one of our buddies, and then 1 random person.
Hey everybody, welcome to RunLeadGen Radio, your go-to podcast for all things digital marketing and growing your business with your hosts, Quinn
and Brian.
And today, you guys, we are so excited to have some familiar faces with us, practically family. We have Caleb Frischknecht with us and Ryan Egan. Is that how you would say that?
Egan.
Close enough. Perfect. Well, good. And they come to us from their company, Adventure Hunt. So then maybe I didn't get that right. Adventure Hunt, is that right?
You got it.
Perfect. So actually, will you guys give us a little rundown? Give us an introduction of who you are and what it is you're doing. Let's start with that.
Here we go. Sure. So I'm Caleb Frischknecht. Like Quinn said, basically family. We've known each other since we've been growing up, basically, since we were little. But yeah, I'm from Utah and have a background in finance and many other things. It's been a long journey, but finally got to this point where we're in this business, and yeah.
Love it. Yeah. Ryan, what about you?
Awesome. Ryan Egan, from Utah, born and raised. My background is primarily in sales and sales management. So I started off doing door-to-door, actually with Caleb. So many years ago, and kind of, climbed the ranks in the sales world, and then have always wanted to be a business owner myself, and this opportunity came along, and here we are.
I love it. So tell me, Adventure Hunt. Let's talk Adventure Hunt, because I've seen it. It's been featured on Shark Tank. Tell us a little bit about that. Give us a little introduction to Adventure Hunt.
Yeah, I was just going to say, so Adventure Hunt started back in 2016. There's 2 brothers who started it, the Bingham brothers.
Okay.
Out of Provo, Utah. And they had an original business that they thought, it'd be fun to put together a scavenger hunt to really market our business. And as part of that, it went so well that they decided to make the scavenger hunt the business.
Yeah.
They were fans of The Amazing Race. We're both fans of The Amazing Race.
Super cool.
And that's basically what Adventure Hunt's all about. So started 2016. They took it for a while for the next few years. We're doing really well doing both public events and started doing some private company events. And then in 2019, they aired on Shark Tank, like you said. They got multiple offers, went really well. And then COVID happened.
Yeah.
When COVID happened, they kind of took a break from this because social distancing was a thing.
Sure.
And started doing their own other businesses. And this kind of fell by the wayside a little bit. And then Ryan and I
picked it up.
Yeah, we picked it up.
I love it. So actually, it's ironic that we have connected, because there's been a lot of adventure hunting in the last couple of months in our life.
Yeah, just recently, right now, all the time. But
yeah, so there's the Utah guys that do the treasure hunt, and that was a big deal. And so I want your perspective on that. And then we actually had a client jump in with us who started U.S. treasure hunts. We helped him build his website, and his business was more along the lines of, he had sponsoring businesses that wanted more foot traffic in their door. And so he created kind of a trivia hunt where people could go and get trivia, participate in like surveys, and then go into these businesses. So we've seen a couple different adventure hunt models. So first, I want to hear your perspective on that. And also, how are you different? What does your model look like? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'll take that one. So I think Adventure Hunt, that, like you said, there's a couple different options out there, and they're all kind of unique in their own way. So
sure.
The one in Utah that you mentioned, that one's more designed for, it's free. The clues are accessible to everybody. It's something that's intended to take a while before somebody finds the treasure. And it's, that's kind of its own thing, but it's also really difficult.
It was, by the way, we went out with my 4 children and hiked for like 3 hours where I was certain we'd found what we needed to look for. I'll tell you that story. But anyway, yeah.
That's funny. That's not the first time I've heard that. Pretty much exact same story.
Yes.
They spend hours and hours looking for it, which is super fun. I think it's a really cool idea. It gets people out there. It gets people, in the outdoors, spending time with family. I think it's a great model.
Cool.
Then the other one that you mentioned that you guys worked with, which was U.S. treasure hunts, right?
That's right.
So their model is a little bit different than ours in the sense that Theirs is kind of backed by sponsors, which ours is as well, but it's for different purposes.
Sure.
So theirs, again, where it's free, it's intended to be something that you can do on your own time over a few different weeks as the event is going, and then it's a raffle process to see who wins. Right?
Okay.
Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think the big differences between kind of those two models and our model is our model, there's a prize at the end. But the main difference is that it's not just about the prize, it's also about the day itself. Because our model is, one, there's the scavenger hunt element to it, where you find clues to get to different locations that eventually leads you to the prize at the end. But the big difference is that in between each clue, there's a list of challenges that you have to do in order to unlock the next clue.
Okay.
So, for example, they can be, challenges like eating an entire donut in one bite. Something fun. It's funny. It's intended to be lighthearted, or it might be something that's more service oriented. Could be find a stranger that's taking their groceries to their car and help them with their groceries, or it could be an adventurous challenge, is maybe hike to Donut Falls.
Okay.
Or I don't know, there's, a bunch of different challenge options. And the goal is that everybody has a certain number of points that they need in order to unlock the next clue. They'll be given a list of challenges that they get to pick which challenges they do. Each challenge has a different point value depending on how hard it is, how long it'll take to do it. And then they get to pick which challenges they're interested in to get the points that they need. They unlock their next clue, go to the next destination, and repeat the process until they find the treasure at the end. So the big difference is it's, of course you want to win. That's obviously a big element to it. But the other side of it is even if you don't win, you still had a ton of fun throughout the entire process.
So there's one winner.
Correct.
Okay. And help me understand, it's an app, it's a desktop. How does that work?
Yeah. So kind of on the last point, one main winner, right? The big grand prize. We usually have prizes for the top 10 people. And then, with sponsors, we try and have other things for everybody else that participated. So it's not just, I'm out,
Sure.
the entry fee or whatever, but it's a ton of fun. And obviously the big grand prizes is the ultimate. Now, it is a website. So as part of the company, we have a website where you can go see all the details. You can sign up for our public hunts, which we can talk to a little bit later.
Please,
if you'd
yes.
like. Private hunts. So like I said, corporate events, team building events, getting that brand out there.
Fantastic. I love that idea, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's also a create your own element. So for some people, like, I maybe not want to participate in a public hunt. Maybe my company's not doing anything.
Yeah.
Or maybe I own a company. I just want to create my own, but I want to work with these guys for whatever reason.
Yeah.
They can go on there. They can create their own adventure hunts, their own scavenger hunts, right? Come up with their own prizes, their own clues. They can use our library of clues or challenges that they'd like. They can set up wherever they want. And then at the very end, they can all use our mobile app. So we have an app on both iOS and Android phones that is, it tracks your GPS location so it knows where you're at. So we have the geotagging. You get to the area, it'll ping, oh, you found it. You found the stop. Great. And as part of that, to make sure we verify people actually get there, make sure it's fair, there's a documenting element to it.
Yeah.
So we utilize social media, Instagram. People put it on there. They tag Adventure Hunt. Look, I did this challenge. I did this. Once they do that, we get a notice saying, okay, we need to verify this team. We mark it off as verified. Once they complete it, they get the points. They get to then move on. So kind of get that social media aspect where we get tagged in these fun videos, people having a great time. And then it's also just a very easy thing to do. Everybody's got Instagram these days.
Awesome. So the business model has a couple users. You've got sponsors and you've got players. I'm curious, the player side seems to make a ton of sense, right? How does the sponsor get involved and what do they get out of that? Yeah,
good question. So on the public hunt, which is primarily what we've been talking about, where anybody can go and sign up, the sponsors get involved because there's a couple options. There's a couple things that we can do for them. The first is probably the most popular is that they can be featured as a challenge itself. So for example, let's say that an easy challenge, eat a donut in one bite, might be worth 1 point. Whereas we might make something that the sponsor wants some activity with. So for example, maybe the sponsor wants 5-star Google reviews.
Sure.
So we would put as a 2 or 3 point challenge, leave ABC company a 5-star Google review.
And is that a requisite to have interacted with the company? Are you guys?
Ideally, right? If they've had some sort of interaction.
Okay.
Or a lot of times it might be something as simple as, tag ABC Company on Instagram and say what you like about the company.
Okay.
Or follow ABC Company on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Whatever their focus is, what they're looking for, we kind of create the challenge customized to their liking.
Okay.
And then it can go as far as we could even have a sponsor set up as one of the stops that everybody's going to. Maybe it's the fourth stop in the hunt, and it's a location where they've got a booth set up.
Yeah.
And maybe some of the challenges that people have is to test out the product at the booth, or to hear a 5-minute pitch about that product or service, or whatever the case may be. But again, the challenges are always optional. Nobody, we want people to have options to do what they want to do. But the sponsor challenges, that's a way for them to get a lot of exposure, whatever kind of exposure they're looking for. And then additionally, if they're a product sponsor, then a lot of times as the giveaway, as the prize for either the top prize and or the top 10 winners, and even all finishers, they can get gift cards and product codes for different products that are being sponsored.
Okay. So Brian and I have been in marketing for some time. Between the two of us, about 30 years in the marketing world. And we have seen a lot in the marketing space. And frankly, we kind of operate in a similar space, right? You guys are on the fun side of it, right? We're a little bit more on the technical side, but about over the course of the last 5 years, I've been involved in some what we call PR stunts. And often what we'll do is we go out and identify something that's fun, right? We watch 12 hours of Christmas movies on the 12 days of Christmas for $1,200, right? We did, you might have seen things like that, and they become very viral. And even though it's CenturyLink internet, has nothing to do with Christmas or Hallmark, people were like, whoa, I could earn $1,200 for watching 12 hours of Christmas movies. Why wouldn't I do that? And we did that over the course of time, and saw that tons of success for backlink acquisition, for domain authority, for bringing in additional clicks and traffic to the site, which ultimately then boost the bottom line of these sites for the traffic that they were going after, the keywords that they were going after. So huge, right? And since those days, we've come to a lot of our clients today saying, look, it costs X amount of dollars to buy a backlink, to go and facilitate a relationship, to the time that it takes to create content and then go and have it post somewhere. You could spend $1,200 and get hundreds, if not thousands, of backlinks if you did something like this. And so actually we reached out to the treasure hunt group and we said, hey, treasure hunters, a lot of you have said you love to do treasure hunts. We would be willing to pay one of you to put on a treasure hunt for RunLeadGen, and we'll sponsor it, use our social media platforms, grow our following, and it will be super fun. People get a ton of fun out of it. The hunters that want to put on a hunt. Could I do something like that with you?
Absolutely. I mean, that's definitely one of the things that we talk about, like that brand awareness, team building, just kind of that element. You could absolutely do that. And that's a big part of our business that we've done. Pre-COVID, we had some actually really big names, USAA. I'm blanking on the name.
That have done the corporate events?
The corporate events, yeah.
Vivint,
nice.
Ancestry.
Orange Theory.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a number of groups that have worked with us in the past pre-COVID, pre-pandemic, that were doing upcoming football games, that were doing upcoming just events or client appreciation events, or trying to build that brand awareness, right? And most of them, I'd say, we're at like 4.5 to 5-star reviews on all of them. They had,
I love that,
returning customers. They want to do it again. A lot of them wanted to keep doing it until COVID hit, and so that's what we're trying to get back out there. That's
so cool. So Brian and I, we are primarily, I would say, we're website guys. We're SEOs. We as a company offer Google ads, Facebook ads, marketing automation. We do the CRM. We have an app as well that people, local service businesses up to enterprise can have all their leads come into one place. They can respond to all the different channels from one place. They get attribution, lead level attribution, all this. But what we don't really do as an agency is virality, right? We're trying to go after the long-term organic tree growth of expertise, authoritativeness, trustworthiness. We're building content on sites. We're building, good landing pages with good click-through rates. We're kind of boosting the bottom line for businesses through ads and through organic stuff. But so many of our clients ask for the virality aspect, the reels, the socials, and I think what you guys offer largely takes care of, it can help with a lot of that. Talk to me a little bit about why a business should consider virality when trying to grow their business.
Well, I would just say you look at some of these challenges. We talk about, part of the sponsorship, right? Tagging the company, we're having fun. All these people are having a great time. If people see that, okay, I got company ABC and they put on this event for their team, right? And they see them having fun. We're posting up to social media. We're sharing it. We'll even create recap videos for those events and say, here you go. They can share it on their corporate page.
Awesome.
Look at what we did, right? People are going to go and work for them because they don't want to go work for a boring company. They want to know, what do I get out of this company, right? So many times today, it's not just about money anymore. It's about how am I going to be treated as an employee? What am I going to get, right? And I think that's a big part of it. If I enjoy what I'm doing, I'm going to work harder at what I'm doing. So
I love it.
So I wanted to ask you, what kind of challenges have you guys faced while building this? Like, what are some of the roadblocks that you guys have been running into?
It's a good question. Well, so for context, Adventure Hunt started, like Caleb said, back in 2016. We just purchased it on August 2nd. So we're less than 2 months in. So it's been, there's been a lot of challenges for sure, trying to revive something that's been pretty dormant since 2020, even, end of 2019. And I think the biggest challenge is figuring out what does work and what people do gravitate towards. Because back in 2016, 2018, around that time frame, I think Adventure Hunt was, if not the only, one of very few scavenger hunt, treasure hunt type companies, especially in Utah. And now, as we discussed at the beginning, there's other options out there. And with how much content exists on social media today, you would think, our grand prize for the hunt that we have coming up in Salt Lake on the 19th of October, the winning team will take home $10,000 cash. And so you would think that would be something that everybody, is all about. And we've definitely had some good traction. But at the same time, I think, probably safe to say it's been less than even we thought it would be. And so we're struggling. One of the challenges is figuring out what does work, and a lot of that's just been testing and figuring out what people gravitate towards and what they like. Like I'll give you one brief example. Just today, we inherited by purchasing the company about 100,000 followers between Facebook and Instagram, which is great.
Yeah,
we've got a good base there. But they didn't have a TikTok, because they hadn't done anything since 2020. And it's been in the last 4 years that TikTok has really blown up. Yeah. And so today, for example, we posted our very first video on TikTok. So
tell us where we can find TikTok.
It's Adventure Hunt.
Okay.
Yeah, just
all right.
Adventure Hunt.
Check it out, you guys.
Yeah. And what we decided to do as something to create a little bit of virality to it is instead of just doing a video explaining what we do, we actually did a cash drop.
Nice.
Which is something that, is fairly popular on a lot of different channels. And we're not the first to do this, but it's definitely something that is working. With 0 views on our TikTok channel, I think we had 4 followers, his wife, my wife, and 2 other people, one of our buddies, and then 1 random person.
Okay.
We just posted a few hours ago and the video's already got a few thousand views.
Let's go.
And all we did was we took an Adventure Hunt sticker, put a $20 bill on the back, stuck it somewhere kind of random, and then panned the camera up to give like a clue as to where it might be. And that was it. Cool. No audio, there was a song overlay to it, but we didn't say anything. It's just, in the caption it says here, this is finders keepers.
Yeah.
And things like that is kind of what we're trying. We're trying to just do new things, something a little bit out of the box, something outside of the ordinary. And that seems to be working. So, we'll see how that goes.
I love it. When we talk about what's working and what's not working, a lot of the people watching are business owners, they're marketers. They've tried a lot of things. And so I think my next question is, do you know what your I want to ask about goals in general, but I also want to ask, like, do you know what you're trying to measure? What's most valuable to you? How do you monetize? Do you need more followers? Do you need more participants? Do you need more sponsors? Like, where do you need to press to get this to be profitable, sustainable, predictable?
It's a good question. And, like I said, we're still pretty early on. And so we're, I think, figuring it out as we go.
Okay.
But from my viewpoint, I would say there's really 3 different sectors to our business, right? There's the sponsors, there's the public hunts that we do, which are individual people and teams that are purchasing tickets to have access to the hunt. And then there's the corporate side. And so it's kind of 3 different sectors to the business that we're working on. And right now our main focus is our public event that we have coming up in October.
Which you need to give us details about at some point.
Yes, for sure. But then there's also the corporate side, building customized hunts for team building exercises and team building events. So I think, we'd kind of probably separate those and look at them all individually.
Okay.
Sponsors, we want people that are brands that fit with our ideal customer profile, people who are interested in outdoor activities, who are interested in being active and trying something new and are adventurous and things like that. That would be the public hunts. And then the sponsors need to fit with that. And then on the corporate side, it would be companies that are looking to do something for a team building event or a company kickoff or, even a customer appreciation event, which is something that we're working on with a local company here at the moment. Anybody who's looking to do something different than just their standard, let's go to the zoo or go to Lagoon or go to, your local favorite place that people go in the summer. And there's a lot of companies that are wanting to do that. A lot of companies that, try to be different. And so that's where we're trying to step in.
So the corporate hunts, they can do a public hunt as one of their corporate hunts. Okay. That makes sense.
Absolutely. And without getting into the details of this one, but as you mentioned, we're working with a company right now that they want to get more information about what they're doing, right? There's a mindset of what this company does. And they think, you have all these subscribers, all these people that are part of our company that participate or, enjoy what we offer, but they don't know this aspect about it. They've done polls where like 60% of Utahns don't realize that we do X, Y, and Z. And so the goal is to put this out for those customers of their own, right? To really see what they have to offer and get that awareness out there to really boost their business even further. So
super cool. Well, it's been 2 months. You said you've kind of done some social stuff. When do you know you've made it? What's the goal? What are you guys hoping to get to? Is it just the 2 of you? Are you all in? Do you have employees? What's that look like?
Yeah. For now, it's the 2 of us.
Okay.
So, we would love to grow it. We'd love to get to the point where we have more employees that we can have on staff for, a sales team that are working on the corporate side, a marketing team that's working on the sponsor and public side, we have a dev team that we outsource to in terms of the tech side. We would love to get to that point. And a lot of that's, I think, going to come from building both these public hunts as well as the corporate events and, getting more traction there. Like I said, it's been dormant for 4 years. So we're trying to get that revived, and it takes time and a lot of energy and a lot of effort. And that's what we're in for.
So it's been dormant for 4 years. How did you find it?
So, long story short, I've wanted to be a business owner my whole adult life.
Super cool.
I've had a bunch of different ideas over the years, dreamed about doing something. And for one reason or another, things just never really worked out. Didn't have enough capital, personal things going on that didn't make sense to put the time into it. One reason or another, it just didn't work out. And one day I was at work, actually, where I was working prior, and I was just sitting there, kind of got that itch of like, man, I just really want to do something. And I had never really thought about purchasing a company because I always assumed if somebody's looking to sell a company, it's for one of 2 reasons. It's either they have been really successful and they're going to be asking more than I can pay.
Sure.
Or they are not successful and they're selling something cheap because it doesn't, quote unquote, doesn't work.
Sure.
And so I never really looked before, but I thought, whatever, I'm just going to look. So I started Googling businesses for sale in Utah.
I love it.
Found a website, and it was the very first one on that page. I think they had posted it within the last 48 hours, give or take, and pulled it up and, started reading the description and the history and why they were selling and, COVID, and they had started doing other things, these brothers that had started it. And that's why the price was where it was. And honestly, I kind of sat on it for, I think 2 or 3 days because I was really excited about it.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to talk to my wife about it until I was like, I really want to do this. So I wanted to sleep on it, as they say. So I waited a couple days, took it to my wife, and I said, I think this is it. I think this is what I want to do. So she said, great, let's do it. And Caleb and I, just a few weeks prior, had been talking. We were, spending time together, hanging out, us and our wives. And we were talking about how cool it would be to be in business together. We've known each other since grade school. We've worked together in the past. And so I came across this opportunity and thought, I'm gonna reach out to Caleb, and reached out. And I think it was 2 days later, we were making an offer and
let's go,
going for it.
I love it. Since we've gone all in, we have just gained immense respect and just shared joy with those that go out and build the business.
Yeah.
Because it is such a invigorating and exciting pivot to all of a sudden be building something that is yours. So maybe we can play the wise mentor for a second here for you guys. So something we talk about with all businesses, every business that we talk with, whether they're at the beginning or they're a little bit more mature, every business needs to identify what success looks like. You got to identify not only from the anecdotal, observational, feely side, but what do those numbers look like? What does it take for you to thrive? And then you know where to press the buttons a little bit, right? So, and this is what we talk about every time with a new business is what does it cost to buy a client? And what is the client worth to you? So it's that cost per acquisition, CAC, to LTV, or lifetime value ratio. Mm-hmm. So that's something we help. And that's what we would say to anybody listening. As you are looking to build a business, you've got to identify what numbers move the needle. We call them, KPIs, your key performance indicators. And then what does it cost to be sustainable? Just to keep a business going. So if you can figure out those costs, if you can start to nail down through any acquisition channel, maybe it's $25 on a TikTok and 2 weeks and somebody gets you. Maybe it's, $500 over the course of 2 months and you get somebody that way on Google Ads, right? Ultimately, to have an idea of what those channels are, what that cost is, so that you can create what everybody says often, right? Scale, right? You got to create scale.
I wanted to ask, so the hunts you guys are working on now, how did you guys get those going? So I guess for the public side, and it sounds like you guys are doing something on the corporate side already.
Yeah. So with the public side, we looked at what the brothers did in the past, pre-COVID, right? They were doing these public hunts trying to hit basically every city that they could in the US. They also did some hunts over in New Zealand, in Australia. They've done some in the UK and Canada. So, they've done global hunts. They got that reach. But they were kind of drowning in hunts during that time frame. They were doing like 40 plus hunts in a 10-month span. Now, we were thinking about it. We're like, do we want to do that, or do we want to up the game? Increase that prize money that people are going to want to participate in to really drive more of the ticket sales. And so with this one, this is our first hunt that we're doing here in Salt Lake. We chose this location because we're from here,
sure,
but we have plans to be doing more starting in, I believe, January. Yeah. We're going to be listing the next 5 here soon to our social media. Ooh. I know it's going to be great, but as part of this though, we did it here because we're on site, right? We're in the location. It was successful in the past. It's our people right here in Salt Lake City. And anyway, but yeah, we're trying to push it where it's the bigger prize amount. Like I said, this one's bigger than any of the ones they've done in the past. So
I love it. You guys heard that. If you want to know where the next 5 locations are, you better be following their socials, right?
Come follow us. Yep.
Get in there. Okay. So I'm curious. I want to talk 2 more things that I have on my mind, at least. And I want to give time to everybody else as well. But one, we want to know the details of your hunt. So when, where, what, how, what. And then 2, I really want to know, how does RunLeadGen work with you? I want to know what we can do. And I think everybody wants to know. If you can walk me through, sell me and sell them. I want to know how we do that. So both of those things I want to hear.
So the hunt coming up October 19th, 2024 in Salt Lake City, Utah. We're going to be doing our hunt for $10,000 cash. Ooh. Right? To sign up, it's $69.99 to buy a ticket. You get into teams of 2 to 4 people. And as part of that, you get a fun, amazing day of the challenges, the excitement. We have prizes for everybody, right? Top 10 get better prizes.
You said amazing day. It's 1 day hunt?
1 day hunt.
Okay.
Really, it's only going to be 3 to 4 hours.
All right.
So it's not a huge time commitment, but you get to have a blast while you're doing it.
And the cost is per person or per team?
The cost is per person.
Okay.
$69.99, and that gets you access. You need to have at least a team of 2.
Awesome.
We do have some discount codes going on right now. We actually have one coming up next week. FanX Comic Convention is going to be there. We have an exclusive code. But if you use FanX 24, I believe. FanX 24 is the current discount code. Get you 20% off. So
are you guys going to be at FanX?
We will be.
So you guys can go see them at FanX. Where will you be? Do you know? Just there.
We'll be walking around.
In the Okay. Yep. Awesome. So date again?
October 19th.
October 19th.
It's a Saturday.
Great.
It's going to be in and around Salt Lake City, Utah.
So did you have a sponsor for that, or is that that's part of what you guys have come up for this first event?
For the first one, so it's all us.
Okay,
yep.
Nice. Yep. Great.
And I would say just, you brought up, it's 1 day.
Yeah.
It is, not only is it 1 day, but like Caleb said, it's 3 to 4 hours. So
sure. Okay.
We want this to be something that there's not a barrier to entry for people who don't have all day or multiple days to participate. But also something that they get a full day's worth of fun out of the event. So it'll kick off at 9 a.m. and it'll probably end around noon to 1. And
I'm sure listeners are going to be curious. Is this a luck-based thing? Is it a skill-based? I mean, can you influence your chances by how good at things you are, or is it completely probabilities and likelihood?
So I'll say, we talked about how there's going to be so many different challenges, and you get to choose what challenges you partake in, right, to earn those points. We want to cater to everybody. So we don't want you to have to be adventurous or have to be smart or have to be funny and out of your comfort zone. We want you to be able to pick those things that you like doing and that you're good at to earn those points. So I think it's fair for anybody, whether you're big, small, old, young, like it's for everybody. So
yeah. Just to echo that, the skill will not be a major factor. If you're overly athletic versus somebody who's not athletic, you can still have just as much chance to win.
But maybe skill in a particular field. Because you're earning points and you have to earn the points. So pick the field that you're good at, and then that will then allow you to compete with somebody that's good at their field.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, cool.
I would say probably the skill that will help you the most is strategy. If you're good at strategy, if you're good at looking at a list and figuring out, okay, these are the ones that we can do the quickest and still have fun and maximize the opportunity here, then that, you want to get from point A to point B as quickly as possible. So the figuring out which challenges are going to suit your skill set the best, that strategy will help you the most.
So cool. All right, we got to wrap up, but I am curious. Walk me through a scenario. Sell me. How do I get involved? I'm a business owner. I want additional following to our podcast. We've got great content. We have fantastic skills. We kill it for our business, for our customers. We want to get out more. Tell me how I can get involved.
Yeah, good question. So first off, as far as how to get involved, you can absolutely reach out to us on any social media platform, especially Instagram and Facebook, now TikTok. We're on LinkedIn. You can email us at letsgo@adventurehunt.com.
Let's go.
Or Ryan or Caleb at adventurehunt.com. So any of those channels. As far as why, if you're looking to sponsor and get your business in front of our customers, if you're a business owner that has any sort of overlap in terms of somebody who would want to be part of a scavenger hunt or a product that fits those types of people, this is a phenomenal way to either get your product into the hands of the people who want it and will use it the most. But even if you just want to get more exposure, this is absolutely one of those ways that the average business owner probably doesn't think like, hey, you know what? Let me find a scavenger hunt company to see if I can work with them and partner with them to get my business out there. It's an out of the box idea that because of that tends to work really, really well. It's not overly done. It's something unique. It's something, kind of special. And so we've, in years past had a lot of success with sponsors in just that, getting their product out there, getting their service out there, getting the results that are focused on whatever it is that they're looking for the most.
I love it.
One last thing I'll just say,
Yeah,
we also
please.
catered, and we talked about catering to all kinds of people for the public hunts. We cater to all types of businesses as well. If you're a doer and you want to do your own, we have that create your own tool. Get online, you can create it, build it for your team. You don't have to talk to us at all if you don't want to.
Yeah.
If you want to be hands off and have us create it, if you want us to be on site and help out with your team, if you want us to come and photograph or video or create those extra elements to make it a really awesome event, then reach out. We'd love to.
So you have some production services as well.
Yep.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, so
love that. Brian, did you have any other questions?
I definitely was curious how you guys are going to find sponsors. Do you guys have more marketing in mind, or is it more about growing the scavenger hunter audience and then they'll come?
I think it's a little bit of both for sure, but we've definitely been more boots on the ground, actively hunting for sponsors. We just got back from Orlando 2 weeks ago.
Nice.
That we went to the Surf Expo there at the Orlando Convention Center.
Super
so
cool.
went and talked with, I don't even know how many businesses, lots of businesses, and, kind of pitched the idea to them. And we've got several that we're still following up with and in talks with. There's also another event, and I think it's called the outdoor something coming up here in Salt Lake in November. That we'll be attending that same thing, talking to a lot of these businesses that have overlap in their customers with our customers.
Great.
And then beyond that, just doing the cold hard, sales of email marketing and phone calls and reaching out on LinkedIn and, networking and leveraging connections, things like that.
So we say it in every podcast, and I'm certain we will say it in every future podcast. Every business trying to grow should consider 3 primary areas: inbound marketing, which is what we do, your Google ads, your Facebook ads, your awareness, we do TikTok ads, SEO, display network, so retargeting. You've got your outbound marketing, that's your cold calls, your flyers, your anything that goes out. And then you've got strategic referral partnerships. And so right now, that channel we fulfill through a business networking group called BNI, which has been super beneficial for us as well. Yeah. You guys, I did have one last question. So you said you went to Florida. How does this? Can you be national? Are you going to franchise? What does that look like?
For us, yes, our focus is going to be national. Like I said, we're going to have 5 more coming up that we're going to be announcing here soon. Our next 5 locations, all those will be in other states. Especially beginning of the year. It's going to be too cold in Utah to probably run a hunt. So think possibly Hawaii, California, Florida, different locations like that. So stay tuned.
You guys, you heard it here first. Follow Adventure Hunt and you'll find out where the next hunts will be. Well, with that, we are super grateful to have had you guys today. We learned a ton about you guys. Any last words, anything to help us remember you by? Any last calls to the audience that we can put out there?
I'd just say come sign up, have a blast. We're going to be there on October 19th in person, music blaring, just getting everybody pumped and excited for this event. But sign up, reach out, follow us. We'd love to connect. So
I love it. Well, you guys, this is RunLeadGen Radio, your go-to podcast for all things digital marketing, SEO, growing your business. Go ahead and like and subscribe to stay up on all the latest. Definitely, if this is the type of content that you're looking for, this is what we do. We talk about growing businesses. We talk about businesses in general with other business owners. So this is RunLeadGen, where we help you scale to success.